Hello and welcome to Deepdale Podcast July 2022. I'm Jason, I'm your host, and we've got a lovely little podcast lined up for you. Got an interview with the Shackleton Trio, who will be playing at Deepdale later in July. We've got an interview with Dominic Buscall from Wild Ken Hill, talking about their new event, The Gathering. And then Chris and I have a chat about the amazing festival lineup, the Deepdale Festival lineup that he has put together, including many wonderful, wonderful artists. So we hope you enjoy your listen. Thanks very much for finding us. If you've got a minute, please do send us an email to podcast@deepdalecamping.co.uk to let us know what you'd like to hear included or what you think of the podcast. Cheers. Thanks very much for listening.
Skies all open wide, geese go high and over. Oh, now you're a beachcomber, fistful of sandfire, sea, lavender, see you next year.
So Chris and I are sitting in a beautifully sunny courtyard at the stables where the rooms are. It is a stunning day. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's one of those sort of hazy blue skies. It's lovely, very nice. You can hear the birds racing around us, dive bombing us into their nests, and just generally enjoying the sunshine and the bugs. And yeah, we've got two lots of things to talk about. We've got the Shackletons, who are playing later this month, and there's a little podcast interview with them coming after Chris and I have talked about them. And then we're going to get very excited about the festival lineup, which is looking simply gorgeous, I think is the way to do it. And Chris threw a massive surprise in and got a band that he introduced me to as headliners on Sunday. So that's really exciting, but we'll come back to that. So let's talk about the Shackletons.
Yeah,
lots of people have seen those at Deepdale, haven't they, before?
Yeah.
Hello, Chris, by the way.
Oh, yeah, hello. Thanks very much. Yeah, absolutely. The Shackletons, I think it's fair to say they are friends of Deepdale. We love them and we love their music, and it's great to have them back playing one of our sort of one-off sessions to support the launch of their new album, Mousehold, which is great. If anyone hasn't heard it yet, it's out there, and I've got a physical copy because I'm still a physical copy of music sort of person, and it's fantastic. It's on in the car, great as ever. Really, really well rooted in Norwich and Norfolk and Fenland culture and stories, and you always know you're gonna learn something from an album of theirs, as well as hearing great tunes, and there are some great tunes on there. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Be great.
Cool, excellent. So date for that is
Saturday, the 23rd of July. So a summer gig. So we're hoping for good weather, and there'll be a little bar set up outside, and we'll be rolling from about 7:30. So.
That's a brick barn gig, so it doesn't actually matter what the weather is. It will still be a lovely gig, but we're hoping that people can spill out into the courtyard and enjoy the evening, and it should be a really lovely evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so now's the time to grab your tickets if you would like to come along to that. We've got a few left, so please do look on the website and grab your tickets for that.
There will be Moongazer ales and local ciders and other lovely bits and pieces on the bar run by the Deepdale team. So do join us. It's really lovely. It's £10 per person. Yeah, it's a fantastic evening for anybody who really likes live folk music. It's a perfect evening for it, really. So I'm Jason, and we're sitting on Zoom, and I am chatting to the lovely the Shackleton Trio, who are going to be playing with us later in July. But we're going to chat about their new album, Mousehold, which I'm hoping is selling like hotcakes and is getting you thousands of bookings for stages. But we thought it'd be really fun to find out a bit more about the kind of the creative process of you creating the album and how you kind of came about to get there. So, hello, and how are you guys doing?
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
All right.
We're good. Are you good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think festival prep is going well, which of course you guys are playing at as Cobbler Bob, aren't you? Yeah, I think we've got our first open air theatre on this coming Friday, so that's going to be fingers crossed for the weather. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think otherwise, lots of people staying. What can you do, really? And are you guys getting to play lots of gigs?
Yeah, we're out and about again now. It's it's great. We're off up to Scotland next week or the week after next, aren't we? Which will be nice to sort of get a bit further afield again. And yeah, it's good to be out and playing again.
And are you playing like smaller gigs, or are you playing festivals, or how's it sort of how's the summer looking?
A little bit of everything, really, aren't we? Some festivals, some more sort of folk clubby stuff, some bigger things. All across the board, really, which is that's the way we like it, isn't it?
Yeah, what do we have coming up? It's pretty kind of West Country, isn't it? Is it West?
Yeah,
it's west from here.
Yeah.
Most things are.
And then Scotland, which is north from here. This is my information.
The geographical knowledge of us Norfolk lot, yeah.
We have a compass. We don't use a sat nav. We just have a compass on the dashboard of the Mondeo.
This road seems to roughly head in the right direction. We'll take this one.
Oh, look, an audience. We'll play for them. We'll stop.
To be fair, they're digging up so many roads in Norfolk that it's probably the most reliable means of getting from A to B. So that's good. It's good. So tell me about Mousehold. How did it come about? Has it been something that has taken a long time, or was it quite quick when you sort of sat down to write it, or how did it come about?
I suppose we've been working on some of the materials over the last couple of years, and a lot of the song material is quite rooted in Norwich specifically, but in East Anglia in general. And there's a few songs that we've unearthed from local source recordings of local singers, like Harry Cox, for example, and we've either reworked those, or small broadside ballads as well, which would have been printed back in the late 1800s, and a few of those that were printed specifically in Norwich, which we've not been able to find tunes for, so we've written our own, and then it's sort of peppered with our own compositions as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's because the backbone of the album is mostly like songs that Georgia writes and sources. I think one of the things we wanted to do with this recording is to have material that we gigged out already quite a lot, so that we had a kind of feel for what it was like in front of an audience, and that we played it in. And so some of that material we've been playing for a little bit before the pandemic, P word, and so it was strange having a gap. Because it was played in, and suddenly we stopped playing, and then had this like fallow period for obviously that period of time. So it was quite nice going back to it, creating new material for the album, and then revisiting those tunes.
Yeah, it's nice.
So as if they were new again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of the things that we play naturally evolves over quite a long period of time, because there's obviously only the three of us, no bass player, no drummer. It can be quite organic at times, just in the moment actually playing the stuff. So before we've recorded something, having not gigged it, and in 2 years' time, that song is completely different.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Yeah. Watching you guys on stage, it definitely looks like you've got the freedom to be organic. You sort of know where each other is going, which is always lovely to watch.
Sometimes, but we also sometimes still just collide. poke eyes with bows, and yeah, musically we do tend to know where each other are headed, unless one of us does something particularly off the wall. But
they're all looking at each other, and you can't see them, but they're all looking at each other as if they're all possibly to blame for that.
They're not. They're not. They're all looking at Aaron.
Excellent. And did you record in a local studio or home record, or how did that work?
Yeah, it was very local, upstairs to here.
just north of here.
Yeah, we
upstairs.
I've kind of taken into quite a lot of the kind of the sound techie side. I think I might be doing the sound for when we play for you, actually, thinking about it. So yeah, bought all the recording gear, got up to speed with that, and it was just really nice just to be able to take completely our time with it. We maybe started the project a couple of times over. So this isn't working, let's just try it a different way. That did mean that it took a vast amount of time. Because when you can change something, it means is that you really go to town on it.
Yeah, I guess that's the danger, isn't it? If you're self-producing as musicians of any type, you don't have that producer going, hang on a second, yes, this is enough, we've played with this enough, or we've edited this enough, or that's not working, or whatever. You're constantly striving as artists to always make it better, which isn't necessarily going to happen, is it? You sometimes the most organic is often the best, and then you can adjust it, but you can't really make it perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we wanted to do a little bit more with this one, is have complete control over it, not have a time constraint. There wasn't a time constraint. It didn't really matter when it was coming out. Yeah.
I think also particularly
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, for Aaron having done our sound, we had a pretty good reference point for what our live sound is like, which is definitely something that we felt like I said, it's something we wanted to have. The album wanted to sound like how we sound live, but better. So, yeah. Tidy, obviously.
Explain a bit more about Mousehold. I'm aware of where Mousehold is, but it won't mean a lot to a lot of our Deepdale visitors, because of course they don't spend a massive amount of time in Norwich. So explain a bit about the place and the name.
Yeah, so Mousehold Heath on the edge of the city, it used to sort of sprawl out towards the Norfolk Broads, and the reason we've called the album that is because it's where we're based, really, but also a lot of the material on the album does reference the Mousehold Heath in general. So No Road Across Mousehold, the song that opens the album, is it's one of the songs that's reworked from a traditional broadside ballad that was printed in Norwich, and it's about when the Territorial Army used to go and practice their shooting on the heathland, but they weren't a good shot and they'd end up shooting each other and livestock and everything they shouldn't be shooting. And then also Wooden Shoes on the album references the heathland, and is sort of about as development work was being done in the city many moons ago, and the labourers who were brought in to do the work, and a lot of the work on the heathland specifically as it was being developed. So yeah, it felt a fitting title to give it, really, didn't it?
And Georgia, are you quite a sort of a music history buff? Do you kind of, do you go hunting for these interesting words that are old songs?
I do, and I don't really know if I would feel that strongly about representing music specifically from my area if I lived somewhere else, but I just really think that we live in such a culturally rich area in the east of England, but a lot of the songs and the traditions have maybe not as widely travelled. If you look at other traditions like northeast of England, for example, where a lot of the tunes and the songs are widely sung across the length and breadth of our island, but there's a lot of overlooked stuff from East Anglia, and I think, well, there's many reasons for that, but I do really like trying to find largely unsung material from this region and try to get it out there a bit and get it heard.
You're playing for us at the end of the month, end of July. It'll be one of our lovely Brick Barn gigs. But what else is in the pipeline coming up in the next little while? Have you got a lot of stuff happening? You're heading up to Scotland. Is that next few weeks?
Yeah, on the 9th or 10th of July. We're playing at Glenfarr Folk Club and then over in Crail.
So you're going to be playing with us on Saturday, the 23rd of July, Brick Barn gig, which will be fantastic. And then you are returning to us in September with your larger setup, the Cobbler Bob. And you're playing, am I right in thinking you're playing Thursday night in the Brick Barn?
Yeah.
That's right. Cannot wait.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, looking forward to
you're
that.
Basically opening the festival, which is going to be great.
Yay!
Party time.
You guys have played at Deepdale before, but what makes a good gig for you guys? What's the difference between just playing a show and a great gig?
It being at Deepdale.
It doesn't have to be. That was not necessarily a leading question, although, of course, being at Deepdale is, we'd expect to be high on your list.
We do always have some of our best audiences at Deepdale, though.
And that's what makes it, isn't it? That's, it's the same answer as we would have given for anything else. It's absolutely fantastic audience, great setup, really lovely place.
And the team you've got there is also excellent as well. So that obviously makes a massive difference to us.
Yeah.
So, because I think playing folk music as we do, we play in quite a lot of different places. So, audience is the thing that can, always change it. And you always have good audiences. Eloquently put there. But yeah.
Excellent. I think you guys were one of the earlier bands that we had to come and play at Deepdale, and I think you all thought we were completely nuts, and where the hell were you being taken to when you came to play at Deepdale? So I'm glad to see that you're coming back, because that means that we obviously we didn't scare the bejesus out of you the first time round, which is good.
I like that you said thought as in like a past tense.
Does it fill you with dread as you kind of get onto that road from Fakenham? Oh my God, we're going to Deepdale again.
Oh, we love it. We're just so happy that you have us back and you're not sick of us, because it is one of our favourite places to play. It feels like we're coming back to coming back home.
That's good. That's
And
good.
it's not how you guys have expanded, and the acts you've gotten are amazing. All the stages and the stuff we hear about it as well. It's just it's lovely to be a part of what has obviously been a big deal for you guys as well, and creating opportunities for live music as well, for local live music and from further afield, which is such a massive asset for touring performers at the moment. To have that locally, we really massively appreciate that.
Yeah, Chris gets very excited about hosting music. It was one of his red lines that when I persuaded him to come and be my business partner, it was he needed to be able to host live music. So fingers crossed. And we've done a load of work to the barn, I think, since you played in there. So there's all sorts of additional extras and a roof that doesn't leak, which is a massive positive step forward. So what can you say, really? So there you go. But that's cool. Well, it's really lovely to talk to you guys. I'm sorry you got disturbed slightly by the arrival of plumbers and barking dogs, but really lovely to chat with you. Thank you so much for joining me, and we really look forward to seeing you later this month. And it was I think Saturday the 23rd of July. So these guys are playing in Brick Barn. You can head to deepdalemusic.co.uk, click on the Shackleton Trio, and you will find a link to buy tickets. And there is still a little bit of accommodation left at Deepdale for that weekend, but not much. But book in and come and see these guys. You don't have to be staying to enjoy their gig. You can just come along and get a ticket on the gate or in advance. But should be a really lovely weekend. And the Deepdale team will be running a lovely Moongazer Ale bar, which is always a fine addition to any gig, really.
Yeah.
And we cannot wait.
Well, lovely people, thank you so much for joining me. And we'll talk to you very soon. And keep well and enjoy your gigs in the rest of July.
Likewise.
Yeah. See you soon.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Good folks of Norwich, what's this all about? Should you take a walk, mind what gates you go out? For if you saunter on Mousehold towards the North Stile, you stand a good chance to get shot through your tile. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. Mousehold Heath. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. There's a timer who lives in St. Stephen's close by. When he goes out to shoot, he can't shut his left eye. He's forced to wear a knitted shade made of leather, or else when he fires, he shoves both eyes together. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. Mousehold Heath. There's no road across Mousehold Heath. Some are so nervous they cannot take sight. So dangerous it is to walk around, for they shot an old donkey going up Silver Road.
No Road Across Mousehold by the Shackleton Trio. I am chatting to Dominic from Wild Ken Hill, who many of you as listeners will have heard talking on our podcast previously, where Dominic and I were standing in the middle of a field watching some cattle, enjoying the newly rewilded space at Wild Ken Hill. You probably know a lot about Wild Ken Hill because you've probably seen it on Spring Watch and that kind of program on the BBC. But they have a new event coming along, the Gathering, a one-day nature festival, I think is the way you describe it. So tell me a bit more about it, Dominic. This is a kind of a really interesting idea. It's brand new for this year. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jason. We're having a new nature festival on our farm, which is quite a wacky, crazy idea. But I think we felt that, yes, we're doing some cool things on the land management side of our operation. And really that's why Springwatch have come here, to kind of understand, what the impact of rewilding and regenerative farming might be on our landscape and our wildlife. But we've never really, we've always tried to engage people about what we're doing, to try and spread the impact. And that's all sorts of audiences. It's other farmers, it's policymakers, but it's also the general public and schools and our local residents. And we've met some amazing people along the way with our journey in the project. And we just thought it would be like a brilliant idea to get, people together at a gathering, as it were, and try and give people like a really special day in nature, not far from where we stood that day when you were on the farm, meadows, woodlands around us, and discuss some of the key issues and learn and trying to inspire our audiences on the day. And I think hopefully the idea would be people would walk away feeling, a deeper connection with the natural world. And so, that's the idea, and we're going to give it a crack. September 17th is the nominated day.
I love the stage names: Cowslip, Harebell, Cornflower, and you've got fabulous people. Have you put this together? Have you got team working with you to put this together? How's it coming together? Because I know the joys of organising a big event, and it's it's like putting a massive jigsaw together, isn't it? Not necessarily knowing that you've got all the pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I think the truth is that events are tough to run, but we're coming at it with a lot of enthusiasm, and we have, I guess, also good fortune because we're a pretty small farm team at the end of the day, but we were very, very lucky to sort of have met someone called Ruth Dillon, who has quite a lot of experience running much larger festivals than this in London that go on for longer and have thousands of visitors, and she just moved to Hunstanton, of all places.
They're literally just down the road.
Yeah, down the road, and had heard about us, and we met, and we realised that this, we'd already been thinking about running a little nature festival, but Ruth brought all that operational experience, really understand how to create a special day, and she's come on board, and she's been putting in like a lot of time and effort and thought into how to create a really like well-rounded, enjoyable day. And so we are just very indebted to her, really. And so I'm not sure we would have had any chance of putting on something this good without her. So really excited now.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, there's some really interesting workshops as well. So creative writing, and looks like wool natural dye workshop, and that kind of thing. It's a really interesting idea. Lots of really interesting stuff going on there, and I love the can farming save the planet? My simple answer would be yes, but I know that probably the talk will be slightly longer and more in depth than that pure yes. Yeah, no, I think it's great, and it's covering so many different facets of regenerative agriculture and rewilding and general conservation. I think this is where, for me, running Deepdale for a while, realizing just how interconnected all those things are, and the fact that we need to almost stop thinking about farming and conservation. We've got to think about them together and how they work together, because actually, pure conservation or pure farming probably is quite dangerous for the planet, whereas actually living in harmony with our environment and trying to piece all that together and work out ways to put it all together seems like a really it's how humans have got to coexist, isn't it? Otherwise we're going to be in big trouble going forward, I think, really.
Yeah, I sort of when I talk about what could happen, I sort of say Mad Max. Like if we don't do anything, it could be like Mad Max. But you're totally right. And actually, those sorts of questions you're asking are exactly like what all the kind of policy discussions are about at the moment. It's this idea of land sharing versus land sparing, and George Monbiot's just published a book which weighs in heavily on this issue, and thinks we should have very high intensive farming. And where we're farming and then leave the rest for nature, whereas others kind of prefer this idea of farming with nature, integrated. And so all that kind of stuff, I think we'll get covered at a gathering. But that's arguably for the parts of the audience who are interested in the land management side of things and the policy side of things. But there's also going to be loads linked other bits linked back to our site. So Mary Colwell, who's a brilliant conservationist and author, is doing a bit with David Gray, the musician, on their work with curlew, our sort of most endangered wading bird in the UK, which is something we work on a lot at Ken Hill. So, making those linkages back to the site. And we've been kind of flattered and humbled by the participants who'd said they'd come and speak at gathering or do a panel or do a workshop, because there's some really cracking names there from the world of kind of, nature writing, and practice, and farming and conservation. So it should be like a really like fantastic day. Excellent.
Really interesting. And of course, the burning question is what it's like to host, Springwatch. Is it this? Because running an event like this must be really interesting. But I'm fascinated to know what it must be like to host such a big thing as Springwatch. With so many facets to it, and so many people on site. Does it overwhelm Ken Hill for the period of time while they're filming?
Well, in the pre-COVID era, Springwatch program had around 100 or more people on site to deliver the program, but they kind of had to rethink it. So actually, we're more at 35, 40, I think. Which is probably a good thing, because I'm not sure our kind of antiquated farm facilities would have been able to host much more. But especially now in their second year, they have been unbelievably self-sufficient, so respectful of the site. They're such brilliant people, from the presenters all the way to the kind of junior wildlife research team and production team. That they really are, like, they're all just proper nature lovers and mad keen, and they work some long hours on that show, and they're just brilliant. We have a pretty fun time, truth be told. We're there, the site's feeling so busy and alive. They provide shots of wildlife that you wouldn't see in a lifetime of nature watching. We get all that data back for our science, and we get the pleasure of watching it on the telly. And then, as you can imagine, our front end, our social media and our website, it goes bonkers. The number of users on the website goes up like several thousand%, and the inboxes are full of interesting questions. It's like a fun time for us, and it always feels slightly empty when they're gone. To be told, slightly bereft. Basically, it's a quiet stillness once they're gone. But we've really enjoyed it, and they've done a very good job, a flattering job, in the way they've portrayed what we're doing and the wildlife on site. And we'll always remember these few years they were here. It'll be close to our hearts.
So is that it now? Are they doing any more shows from Wild Ken Hill at all?
I think they'll probably be back for Autumn and Winter Watch. We'll see, and then after that, it's who knows? They kind of do in annual cycles, and we've done a full year, and we're kind of halfway through the second one, and maybe there'll be another one, but whatever happens, we'll have been very grateful for what they've done for us and the chance to work together. Yeah,
no, that's fantastic. So tell me how people get more information and tickets for gathering, and what sort of numbers of people are you hoping to get through?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be kind of reasonably busy for a first year event. So 400 or 500 people, and we put some good work into getting a new part of our website up and running to kind of showcase the day. So our website's www.wildkenhill.co.uk, and if you want to look at gathering, it's /gathering, and it's obvious from the homepage. And through there, you'll find all the information about the writers, creatives, practitioners speaking on the day, the workshops, the stuff for children. There's a wellbeing area, that's all there. And there are some pretty obvious links to click through and get your tickets, which is done on Eventbrite on the third-party website. So take a look and come along if you're thinking about it. I think it's going to be an awesome day, and we'd love to see sort of fellow nature lovers there, really.
Excellent. So it's Saturday the 17th of September. Yep.
That's the one.
Gates open at what sort of time?
9-ish, 9 till 9 is what we're saying.
Okay, so it's late into the evening, so there'll be a chance to see the place after dark.
There'll be a bit of music for sure. It's supposed to be a bit of fun at the end, and who knows if it's really fun, we might keep the bar open a little longer.
Excellent, and that's great. And what sort of prices are tickets? What can people expect to pay to come along?
Yes, so kids free, and then we've got a concession for younger adults at £30, and then a general admission ticket is £55.
Right.
So yeah, about that price point, which we worked hard on to make it as affordable as possible in our first year. And I can tell you that running an event like this is you're very, very, very hard pushed to get in the black in the first year, and we almost certainly won't. So that we feel is a pretty good price actually for the sorts of things that you'll get on the day. A long day full of pretty awesome discussions and opportunities to engage and interface with these awesome writers. So yeah, I think that's the deal.
Yeah, excellent. That's great. Well, lovely to speak to you again, Dom, and we look forward to seeing each other again for more wandering and chatting about how we're both progressing with our regenerative agriculture kind of processes, and no doubt there will be lots of interconnection between Deepdale and Wild Ken Hill over time. But thanks again, and really hope it's a fantastic day. It sounds you've got an amazing program, and I really hope it's a huge success this first time round.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having me. I definitely come to gathering and stay at Deepdale. I think that could be a pretty cracking weekend, and looking forward to staying in touch.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you, Dominic.
Cheers, Jason. Take care.
So, Mr. Haycock,
Yeah,
I can see the glee on your face as we think about Deepdale Festival and the amazing programme that has already generated a significant amount of interest. And tell me more. You've put a lot of work into this, and you're very excited about it.
Yeah, I am. Well, I haven't actually looked at it much for the last couple of weeks. I've been otherwise engaged. And
important things. Things.
So, just refocusing on it now, and it is exciting. I'm really, really looking forward to it. We've got lots of eclectic stuff organised. The lineup is pretty much there. There's a few little slots left for people that I shall be finalising over the next few weeks, I should think. But really, really looking forward to it. We've got some absolutely cracking acts headlining, and then all the way down the bill, it's just fantastically interesting with great artists, really talented people coming from not too far away in East Anglia, and also from as far away as Yorkshire and Cornwall. So it'd be great. Really, really good. So looking forward to it.
So run us through sort of the top acts, and anybody else that leaps out of the list. And every time I ask you this question, it's a different list. So I know you get excited about all the acts that play, right from the solo artists who are still breaking in, right through to the very established acts.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited by all of the acts that we've got on the bill, but obviously the headliners are there for a reason, and really pleased, amazingly pleased that we've got Wildwood Kin organised to come along on the Sunday in the middle of their national tour. I'd known them for a while, introduced you to them, I think, down in Norwich, and
in the waterfront,
very, very happy to welcome them. They'll be slightly different for us on a Sunday night, but really absolutely blown away that we've got them coming to play for us. And earlier on that day, another blown away sort of situation. We've got Catherine Williams coming, who's been a musical hero of ours, mine and Sheila's for a long time, and seen her in various places and chatted to her about coming to Deepdale, and I am so pleased that we managed to entice her over to Norfolk. That's going to be just a great end to the weekend, just absolutely fantastic. So really made up for the Sunday afternoon and evening sessions. And yeah, Saturday's going to be gorgeous. We've got Smoking Pilchards coming up with their sort of sea shanty, punky, folky stuff from Cornwall. And we've got the Last Inklings in the church. They're a new addition to the bill, and they're just awesome duo. And Sam Kelly is playing in the Orchard on Saturday, sort of early evening-ish. So you really won't want to miss him coming along with Jamie Francis, so Saturday's amazing. And then Friday is also stunning. Friday we're welcoming back Gentlemen of Few, coming to headline the Brick Barn stage on the Friday evening, and we've got some great acts through the day and evening on Friday. Got the Good Earth Collective coming down from Yorkshire. We've got Elizabeth and Jameson coming over from Cambridge Way. Marina Florence, who hasn't played here for a couple of years now, and just one of the best voices you're ever going to hear, and a fantastic songwriter. And then up and coming Ellie Gowers, just brilliant.
I love when you send me through all the lists that do the posters and the website and stuff, and I suddenly sort of, so many of these bands, even if I've sort of mildly got them in my radar, it just start being able to watch their videos and listen to their music. It's like, oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. So it must be exactly the same for anybody coming to the festival for the first time.
I really hope so. We work very hard to put together a programme. It is folk and acoustic and roots driven. Yes, there's a few little bits and bobs around, but it is in that genre. And I hope everyone has a fantastic time. We've got Cobbler Bob String Band opening up on Thursday with the Gillies prior to them opening that up. So there's no reason to be late arriving on the Thursday.
You really want to get here for the evening. Definitely come and enjoy those two.
And then through the weekend, who else have we got? We've got Bertie Anderson, who has from the Bobo Bells. She was in, and she's got a song cycle, a North Norfolk song cycle that she's written, and that's going to be, I think, one of the highlights over in the church. I think it's just going to be fantastic. Yeah. We've got Feathered Thorns, which is the Feathered Thorns duo project of Jason Wick from Little Red Kings, who played here a lot. We've got Ebb Tide back, who were a real hit at the last festival. They've got a later slot now on the Friday. We've got
Cutthroat Francis,
Josie Field coming back. We've got Cutthroat Francis, absolutely, headlining the Orchard stage. They went down Saturday.
An absolute storm.
We'll clear the benches out of the way and get some dancing going in there, I think. We've got Emily May Winters, who hasn't been able to make it to us yet because of COVID earlier in the year. She's coming along on Saturday. East Angles Brass Band.
Yeah, they're the guys. They're the guys who did the secret gig at the first festival where we stood them in a field, and they wondered where they were, and so did the visitors, and they all had an amazing time. So, but they're going to be fab on in the Orchard stage. That'll be brilliant.
And we've got some workshops organised. We've got Dove and Bow Weevil coming along. We've got Fred's House back. Alden and Patterson.
Am I right in thinking there's a punk ukulele?
Yeah. Steve, who is leader of the Good Earth Collective, he's going to run that punk uke.
So you can bring your ukulele, or there are ukuleles you can borrow. We think.
There'll be a few. So
if you have got one, bring it with you, and then you can learn to play punk ukulele in a workshop, which would be very cool.
And then a lyric-driven workshop at the moment that Josie Field's going to run on the Sunday. There's lots going on, and loads of absolutely fantastic music. So now is definitely the time to be buying your day and weekend tickets. Our accommodation is sold out, apart from, I think we've got one of our safari tents still available, but apart from that we're sold. So you're going to need to look at local campsites, or just come along on the day or the weekend, but now's the time to grab your tickets. So looking forward to just fine-tuning that over the next few weeks.
Yeah, we'll just keep watching deepdalefestival.co.uk. We'll put lots of information on there, or follow Deepdale Festival on social media, and we'll keep posting as we add more stuff. Every time I think I'm done, Chris goes, "Oh, could you just?" So there's always new stuff being added to the lineup all the time, and it is a wonderful collection. We try to add links into all their videos and Bandcamp and SoundCloud and all their social media and all of that kind of thing, so that you can have a pretty good idea there. And there's also the Deepdale Festival 2022 Spotify list, so you can, if you want to get a sort of a sample of the bands that are playing, just look for that Deepdale Festival 2022 on Spotify, so that you can get a feel. Tickets start, you can either get a Sunday ticket, a Saturday and Sunday ticket, or a whole weekend ticket. A whole weekend ticket for 3.5 days of music is 60 quid, so it's pretty incredible value. It's just over £1 an artist, which is not bad value really. And well worth coming along to. So if you go on our website, deepdalefestival.co.uk, you should be able to find all the information you require. As I say, we keep adding to it, and there's a link there for tickets, which are sold through Try Booking. I hope you can join us. It's going to be a fantastic event, and Chris is already very excited about it, so you can imagine how excited he'll be by the time he's announcing the bands on stage.
Yeah,
you're going to be playing drums this year?
No, I don't think I'm going to be playing drums this year. No,
Are you
I
sure?
think I have now retired. I think that is me.
To be fair, you didn't think you were playing drums last year.
No, that is true. So never say never.
Never say never. Excellent.
I'll probably have the kit in the back of the shed somewhere.
I'm sure it'll have to be on site just in case.
Oh yeah, it'll be on site for emergency purposes.
Yes, that's cool. Well, thank you, man, and I'm really looking forward to the lineup. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And
me too.
Yeah,
cool.
Well done.
Thanks.
Brilliant. Thanks again for listening to the Deepdale Podcast. We hope you enjoy the listen, so much so that you might tell your friends and family to take a listen. You can subscribe to the Deepdale Podcast in any good podcast directory, including Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Castbox, our hosts, Spotify and YouTube, and you'll find all our previous episodes. We always love to hear your thoughts and suggestions, so please do drop us an email to podcast@deepdalefarm.co.uk. Keep well, and we look forward to seeing you on the beautiful North Norfolk coast sometime soon.
Skies all open wide, geese go high and over. Oh, now you're a beachcomber, fistful See ya.